sweet. Well, good morning. Geez, I haven't been on this stage to give a talk for a month.
Really?
Since before Christmas, last year. So let me start. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Did you guys handle the holidays okay? Is everybody okay? You're all through it? How many people came to the fire walk? Wasn't that amazing?
Yes.
Wow. How many people were here for the candle lighting? That was beautiful, just beautiful. So I'm just catching up. So this is my first talk of the new year, and I was thinking about all the different things I could talk about. I was even asking people, what should I talk about? What should I talk about? But really what I talk about is what I always want to talk about, that power and presence of God in you. And I love what Charlie Shepherd says, you are God, act like it. Act like it. People leave the center because they say, you want too much from me. I want to process. I need to tell my story. And I need a little emotional support for all of the drama and the trauma, and I need some tissues for my issues. And you just don't want me to do that. You say, get off of it, stand up, do what is yours to do. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about stand tall. Stand tall. And that presupposes that you are standing. So if you're sitting, get up. Stand up. Stand tall. There you go. If you're down in the mud, get up. If you have fallen down, get up. If life has done you wrong, get up. If someone left you, get up. And not only get up, no, that Barbara, she just wants everything. Getting up is not enough. I want you to stand tall. But I want you to know there are risks involved. This is called the tall poppy syndrome. And that is when you have a field of poppies and all of a sudden one of them pops up higher than the rest. And the tendency for other people, I'm sure it doesn't have anything to do with anybody in this room, but the tendency for other people is to go and clip that poppy off. Don't make waves. Don't stand too tall. Don't be too big for your britches. Don't lead. Just be quiet, sit in the corner, put your head under a pillow, and don't bother me. And here, that doesn't fly. Because you see, we are light bearers. And so people say, well, who am I to stand above the rest of the crowd? You're going to stand above the rest of the crowd. You already have stood above the rest of the crowd. It doesn't make the rest of the crowd wrong or less than. That is just your nature. You are the leading edge. You are the light bearers. You are the ones who are going forth into the world to uplift everyone around you. Not to say, oh, I'll be small, but to say, let's all be big. Let's all live the life that we were meant to live. Let's be who we were meant to be. And people say, Barbara, how can you say that? You make me crazy. You say that to me. Jesus said, know ye not that ye are gods. And I say that to you, don't you know who you are? You're starting off a whole brand new calendar year. Don't you remember who you are? Why you came to planet Earth? What you came here for? That you have a divine destiny, a divine appointment, that you are here for a reason, not to play small, not to hide, not to pull yourself out, but to push yourself forward. There's that thing, I wish I had brought it. It says, because people are always talking about, well, I need to take care of myself. I just need to take care of myself and I need to pace myself because, life it's big. There's a lot going on in life, and I want to make sure I'm okay. And I don't want to take care of myself. I don't want to kill myself, but I don't want to take care of myself. I don't want to play it safe. I don't want to rest my way through life. And there's a thing that says, when I get through with this life, I want to slide into heaven. I want to slide into heaven with a cigar in one hand and a martini in the other. I want to be used up and battered and have lived this life. Now, you don't need to have a cigar or a martini to do that, although if you do, I'm not going to stand in judgment here. But what I want to do is I want to live the life that I was meant to live and not pull back. And that means that if I have to stand bigger than everybody else around me and other people want to knock me down, that's okay. Because what is inside of me is the wherewithal to stand tall. So I want to invite you in this upcoming year to stand tall, to give it all you've got, not to break down, but to break through, to move forward. If you're down in the mud, so what? We've all been there. Dust yourself off. Get up. If you've got to get up a little bit at a time, one knee at a time, and if someone gives you a helping hand up, that's fine. But then you're up. And not only is being up good enough, you've got to stand tall. You've got to hold your head tall. The best time to learn your own self-value and self-worth is when people are trying to tear you down. And if people are trying to tear you down, it's just because you're doing something. You're doing something different than everybody else. You didn't come here to be a lemming and jump off a cliff just because everybody else does. You came here to be the God being that you were meant to be. And I will tell you that forever. Because all that there is spirit. Thomas Troward, one of my favorite guys, and now we all know what he looks like. Thank you, John. He said in the Edinburgh Lectures of Mental Science, he said, spirit plus nothing equals spirit. If spirit is all that there is, and there's nothing outside of spirit, spirit plus nothing equals spirit. You are God. Rumi said that you are not the drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in the drop. You are God. There's only one infinite, absolute, creative substance. It is wise, it is intelligent, it is love, it is power. That is what you are. You don't have to turn into it. You don't have to have a workshop, but I want to go to all that stuff on Saturday. You don't have to buy it in a book. You don't have to get it off a CD, although my CDs are particularly good. You were born to stand tall. You were born to stand up as high as you can get. It's a story about a little boy who was put in the corner back when children were put in the corner in schools and made to sit on the stool in the corner. He said, I'm sitting on a stool on the outside, but I'm standing up straight and tall on the inside. That's what we were meant to do. We're meant to stand straight and tall. It doesn't matter what's happened. Oh, I've gone through divorces. Well, hallelujah. Now maybe you can get it right. I've had physical things. So what? Your body was born to heal. Hear me on this. Your body was born to heal and to do nothing else. Your body was born to thrive, to regenerate, to regrow, and to heal. Yes. And then you say, I've gone through bankruptcy. So what? You know, bankruptcy is just legal forgiveness. I think that is so cool that we have a system in our country to legalize forgiveness. We don't have debtors' prisons and things like that. We just legalize it and say, okay, Judge, you are forgiven. Wow, that's great. So no matter what it is, no matter what you think has tarnished your bright and shining star, know that you stand tall and shine again. And don't try to fit in. Don't try to be like everybody else. You are not like everybody else. You didn't come here to be like everybody else. If you were like everybody else, you wouldn't be sitting in this room or any other center like this that looks at you and says, you are the power of spirit in form as you. You are God. Spirit plus nothing equals spirit. That there's nothing you can do. You can't turn into it. You can't get away from it. That's who you are. That who you are is infinite. You are absolute. You are perfect in every way. You can't change that no matter how much you try, and chances are if you try to do that, it will make you crazy. Have you tried to dim your light? Have you tried to pull back? Have you tried to just fit in, just keep your head down, be quiet, fit in? It never worked for me. The only thing that ever worked for me was to stand up tall, say what I needed to say, do what I needed to do, and take whatever came. And what came was pretty good. Not to say that I haven't had my bumps and bruises in life. But I don't want to play it safe. I don't want to be small. The price that you pay for staying small is much greater than any price you will pay for standing tall. That rhymes. It could go on a poster. The price you pay for staying small is greater than any price you will pay. No. Yeah, it's greater than any price you will pay for standing tall. That was it. That was good. I love this teaching. I love this teaching. I love the way it pushes us. Not that we're never good enough, but that there is that within us which is good enough. And when we run from that, it will haunt us. And when we stand with that, it will lift us. There is that within us that is amazing. That's why we have this center. 20 years. And people say, some people in our movement don't like me. I call them on stuff. I'm a religious science minister. I don't care. Garbage just came out of your mouth and I'm not going to listen to it. And I don't care where we are or who we are in front of. I will say what is mine to say, because if I don't say it, I'm complicit in that statement. I had a friend that said, talking about the young adults and how important they are and what we can do to get young adults, because we're deficit, because we don't have enough young adults, and so we've got to go out and figure it out and fix it and try to get some young adults and bribe them to come in. And all of that stuff, that's crazy stuff. We are either perfect, whole, and complete right here and right now, or we are not. And so that person said, well, we are a dying movement. I stood up. I said, we are not a dying movement. We are a thriving movement. And wherever the young adults are, they're in their perfect and right place, being who they are meant to be. And if they choose to be in alignment with this teaching, they will be. And it'll be fantastic. But we are a thriving movement, and I will not stand here and listen to these lies. Woohoo! Some people don't like me, but what is my choice? Oh yeah, that's wrong. It's terrible. Oh, we're all lost. I will not live that way. And if I say something that gets somebody else upset with me, so be it. It's their problem, not my problem. That's their problem, not my problem. Terry Cole Whitaker said, what you think of me is none of my business. The only thing that is my business is what I think of me. So what I want to encourage you to do this year is to stand tall, not to fall back into the unconscious lies that come out of our mouth because they're zinging around in our head. I find it easier to stop it at the point of the mouth than it is at the head, but the mouth is just a step. Not to fall into the unconscious lies just because that's what everybody's saying. Well, there are terrible things going on in the world. The whole world is falling apart. We're all going to hell in a handbasket. No, we're not. As Wallace Wattles said, the world is perfect but not finished. It is not going to hell. It is going to God. Stand tall. Be who you were meant to be. And if people call you crazy, you're in good company. I love this quote from Florida Scott Maxwell. It says, life does not accommodate you, it shatters you. Every seed destroys its container, or else there would be no fruition. Oh, I want to be accommodated. I want to have all my needs met. I want to be comfortable. I want it to happen easy. No, that's not your job. Your job is to be shattered. That the part of you that thinks you can't, that it's impossible, that it'll never happen, that you don't have it inside of you to have the life you want to live, that part needs to be shattered. And that's what life will be. And it is in that moment that you stand tall. You dust yourself off, you pick yourself up, you stand straight and you hold your head high and you know who you are. And when you do that, you won't be afraid to speak up. You won't be afraid to ask. You won't be afraid to take. You won't be afraid to live. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Think about it. Everything you've ever lost, you gained something greater. So stop holding on to what you lost. If it was yours, you never would have lost it. Maybe it was yours for a while, but it wasn't yours anymore, so it went on by the wayside to somebody else, or to something else, or back to the dust, whatever. I don't know where it is, but it's not with you, so let it go. There's a greater blessing in your life. Sometimes I see people lose the greater blessing because they're so busy holding on to the loss. And then their life is a loss. And what a loss. Stand tall. These are your choices. They're not complicated. You can either shrink back or you can move forward. You can be small or you can be tall. And I just need to tell you, if you stand tall, somebody's going to want to try to knock you down. So what? So what? They don't have the power over you. They can't take away that which is yours. It's yours. They can't even touch you. So in your good company of the crazy ones. Here's to the crazy ones. The misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round heads in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who can. Apple Computer ad. Here's to the crazy ones. Here's to the people that don't let circumstances hold them back. Here's to the people that honor that spark inside of them and let it come to full blaze. Here's to the people that don't stop when everybody else stops, but they push forward, they move on, they stand up, and before you know it, they are leading everyone. That's your job this year. I don't care what your story is. I don't care whatever happened to you. I don't care what you're afraid of. I don't care what you're worried about. I just don't care. I care that I see God in you. I care that I see a power and a presence that will lift you over any obstacle, answer any question, and solve any problem. That's what I care about. And I would encourage you to care enough about that also to stand tall. And so it is.